Hello friends, welcome back to Home Sense with Nell. Today I am super excited to participate in another challenge issued by Denise Jordan over at This and That with Denise Jordan. Today she has challenged us to create our own fairy gardens, and it's a great chance for us to be a little creative and share with the community. So this challenge is called My Fairy Garden Summer 2019, and I will leave a link to both her channel and the playlist in my description box as soon as I can. So come along with me and let's see what I can get done today. Here at Home Sense with Nell, I talk about home decor, DIYs, product hauls, gardening, and basically everything involved with making your home your sanctuary. If that's your thing, please like, share, and subscribe. Now I have this old, tired, rusty fire pit. Originally, I had planned to refurbish the pit with some high heat spray paint, but when I realized that there were holes in the bottom, I realized that wouldn't work. So I thought, you know what? This will be a great platform for my fairy garden. So here I am beginning to spray paint the fire pit with some semi-gloss black paint. Now because of those holes, any soil that I might place into the fire pit would just drain out. So I decided to use a little leftover landscape fabric to line the fire pit. After I lined it, I went ahead and put fresh potting soil inside. So this was what I was working with for my project. I collected a few items from around the house that were mostly left over from other projects, like some green rocks and some fine black sand, some jute twine, some glass containers, those type of things. I tried to complete this project as budget-mindedly as I could, but I realized that I did have to purchase a few things. This garland was left over from a kitchen decor project from a few years ago. I thought that might come in handy. And here are a couple of things that I did purchase, including the paint and the lovely fairies. I have a boy and a girl. And I purchased a really cute fairy accessory kit from Amazon. It was something like 100 pieces, and I didn't end up using all of them, but they're so cute. I really thought the animals were precious. But as cute as these things are, I have something even more precious that I'm going to add later on. So stay tuned to see what that was. Now here's a popsicle stick craft that my oldest daughter Olivia made a few years ago, and I'm going to use that too. So I don't know if you can see these plants. These plants are weeds that grow everywhere in my yard. So I decided to go ahead and use them in my fairy garden because I did want it to have a tropical, kind of exotic look. So right now you see me adding those to my fire pit. But if you stick along with me on this journey, you're going to find out that not everything worked out as planned. So you'll see later what happens with those plants. So here I am just positioning the moss. I wanted to try to accent the landscape a little bit and define the living space for the fairies. And the house that the fairies are going to live in is actually a flower pot that I turned upside down. So here I'm adding some green gravel, which is going to be for the little boy's pond. And I wanted to accentuate that with some more greenery. So now I've decided to decorate the fairy's home. I got out some black paint and I began to paint on a door and a couple of windows. This painting is a lot harder than it looks, guys. So look at these plants. In less than an hour, they've already started wilting. So I have to get rid of those and I have to move on to plan B. So here are some decorative sticks that we actually bought at IKEA like 15 years ago. I'm not kidding, guys, but we still have them. So I thought I'd take some of this extra garland and hot glue it to the sticks and make my own trees. And this came out okay. It wasn't too bad, but I really wanted to have live greenery in my fairy garden. So here I am. After I finished attaching the greenery to the sticks, I went ahead and removed those old plants. And then after looking at them, I just decided to go ahead and purchase some live plants. I just wasn't happy with the look of the artificial trees that I had made. So I got a salvia, a white geranium, and a bougainvillea, and I went ahead and added them to my fairy garden. But lo and behold, they were too big. So at this point, I'm not going to go back to the store. So I decided to just camouflage the pots. And I figured that once they get too big for the pots, I will go ahead and remove these plants and replace them with something else. And actually, I think it turned out pretty well. So back to my home. Right here, I'm just painting on nice blue trim for the doors and windows. Pretty happy with it so far. And now here comes the fun part, is the decorating. So I found some flat black rocks and I put those in as like a little staircase for the fairies. And I'm just having fun placing all the little accessories around. I have some really cute rosettes that I couldn't make adhere or fit into the landscape, so I decided to glue them onto some of the rocks, and that worked out pretty well. Thank goodness for those tweezers. And because I decided to leave the plants in their pots, I had to camouflage the plastic a little bit, so I added some more black rocks to the top, and that worked pretty well too. So after I finished painting, I went ahead and rinsed off my brushes and realized that I had some blue water I could use for my pond. So here I am putting some cute little touches onto the house. Those are ladybugs. And we decorated the top with a little gravel. Now earlier I mentioned that there was something very precious to add to this fairy garden, and it's this fruit. My middle daughter Aisha loves to work with clay, and she actually made all of this fruit a couple of years ago as a project. I really like that. Now, as you can see, all of these little pieces are kind of difficult to work with, but finally, I got it done. Now I'm just adding the finishing touches onto my fairy garden. There's a cute little girl that swings and takes care of all the fruits and vegetables. And now, after a brief rain shower, the kids have decided to stay out and enjoy the day. Little brother is fishing. He takes care of bringing in all the fish for the family. Dad takes care of building projects, and Mom takes care of the home. And that's their story. They came from a town called Sweet, and they've landed in a town called Happiness, and they're very content. So again, I want to thank Denise from This and That with Denise Jordan for issuing this awesome collaboration. And please come back to my channel, Home Sense with Nell. I'd love to have you be part of the family.